Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, remember that? Good times. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, and with me is my other host,
Chris Mack.
And sorry, as I was saying the intro out loud, it reminded me somebody I know just tweeted that they're seeing The Pest for the first time with John Leguizamo, which I think we may or may not have mentioned on this podcast before.
We have mentioned it, but we haven't like covered it. But I think we should.
And I know you and I for sure have talked about it because you're one of the only other like 3 people in my lifetime that I know of who've seen it. She makes 4 now. 5 is her husband's watching.
Seen it multiple times. Okay, I enjoy this movie a lot. I enjoy it a lot. I don't care what anybody else says. Is it a bad movie? Absolutely, but it's also like peak Leguizamo. Like he was very hilarious in it. Also, Ari Spears was in that movie. We forgot about
that's Ari true. Spears. Yeah. She was like, how was this movie illegally allowed to be played in public? No one served time for this. So Chelsea, yes, but welcome to being a very small number of humans who've ever seen it, besides the people who worked on it. But huge tangent right off the bat. Where are you doing great? That's not what we're covering. We are actually covering the entirety of Sex and the City from beginning to however many reboots, revivals they do. We'll see how it goes. Yes. I've seen the show a million times. Chris has never seen it.
No, I have not.
And we are deep into season 3, episode 17. What goes around comes around, and it's all about karma, bitch.
Yeah, man, we're about to wrap the season up. The next episode is
season finale.
Season finale. We're about to be in season. Why does this show feel like it's going on forever, though?
It's because we're watching it at such a slow pace.
Yes, yeah, we're watching one episode a week. So
we're basically watching it in real time, and the show lasted 6 seasons. Right, it's gonna take forever, man.
Like you were gonna like be watching this podcast and be like, "Yo, when are they gonna stop talking about Sex in the City?"
Forever. When you pay us to stop.
Fuck it. Cool. So what goes around comes around. I don't even know who to start with first, because kind of everybody had an interesting story.
Everybody did.
It was a really action-packed episode.
This one's got a lot going on.
Yeah. I'm gonna let you pick. Dealer's choice, my friend.
We'll go with Miranda's. I feel like hers is kind of the briefest of all of their plot. Everybody's got kind of a meatier plot for once.
Yeah, that's true.
But hers is probably the like shortest.
Okay, that's fair. That's true.
Sorry, I was about to crack my knuckles like right in the mic. I was like,
crack them.
Oh, yeah. ASMR for all you freaks out there.
Hey, listen, somebody's gonna fucking soundbite that and use it in a loop. Don't ever trip.
Enjoy. So Miranda, Carrie, we'll get into it more in Carrie's plot. Carrie is mugged and calls the cops, and they're able to get a hold of.
Stop. First off. Oh, well, I mean, no, I'll get more. I'll talk about more of that when we get to her story.
Yeah, hold Carrie's. We'll move it. Hold anything Carrie related till we get to Carrie.
Keep it moving.
And so she's able to get a hold of Miranda, who comes and gives her her shoes get stolen, so she's helping her out and hits it off with the detective. And then,
Go ahead. By the way, I'm just that whole interaction where the detective and her are, giving each other the googly eyes, highly disrespectful. I'm sorry, like y'all could have taken that shit outside or like.
It's like right in front of the victim of a crime. Like
she's like worried about if she's gonna get any of her shit back, and dude just like, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Oh, you single? Like he's not even listening. He's just like writing things down, kind of nonchalantly. Like, he really looked like, and I also understand this because most cases like they're never, especially this time, because like she didn't have a cell phone that they could trace and all that other shit like that we have now. So it's like that's just kind of how it just sucks when shit gets stolen from you, because most times cops don't really. Yeah, you can call them and they'll write the report in and make you feel good about it, but they're not really gonna look into it, especially in a major city like New York.
Yeah,
you ain't getting your shit back. You just got to take that L, baby.
Yeah. But Miranda gets a W out of it because he's like full on hitting on her. They exchange info, and then but she's insecure because she's like, he's the hottest dude I've ever dated. I don't know if I deserve to be with him. It's also crazy because she's getting ready for the date. and freaking out, like having a panic attack, and she calls Carrie about it. And then she's like, oh, he's in the other room and he's been waiting 20 minutes. Why aren't you dressed for the date yet? Have the panic attack before he arrives.
Yeah, like this could have been hours before. Or
now, like if I'm excited for a date or something or going out, like it's like almost a full day process.
Yeah. Also, let's not even, I mean, as often as Miranda dates, as often as all these women date, you're telling me you don't have like a date outfit, like locked and loaded, ready to go, like something looks your best, like you look your best in and shit like that. Everybody's got one. Every guy, I have a fucking date outfit that I know I'm killing the game when I wear. You know what I'm saying?
I have a dress that I have worn to a couple like premiere or movie things.
Yeah.
And it's not even like the sexiest dress. It just looks nice on me. And it's a nice color for me.
Right.
Too powerful. Been talked to by like a taken man at one point. And like, who got my number? And I was like, oh.
Hey, listen here, Carrie. You're not gonna be fucking up any marriages. Right?
No. I was like, that's so nice that he like want to do that. I was like, but I am no homewrecker. Enjoy. I don't know what you're doing. But then I was like, this dress is too
powerful. I'm wielding power. I can't.
I was like, this dress is out of control. It's crazy.
But yeah, everybody has it. I'm sorry, like unless you just started dating or you've only been on like 4 or 5 dates in your entire life. If you're an adult that's been dating pretty much regularly since you've been an adult, you got an outfit. Everybody has at least 2 outfits. One where it's like somebody you really like, and then somebody you're just like kind of into.
Yeah. I don't even know what she was like half wearing. She had on some crazy like high-waisted like long skirt. Was like I don't know, it looked insane.
It looked like, to be honest with you, the bottom half of her looked like some shit from like Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's what it looks like. I was like, what are you wearing?
Very old school Southern Belle kind of dress.
Cottagecore isn't coming in for another 20 years, my friend. You gotta have to wait.
Also, she took out those chicken cutlets way too many times in that scene. It was making me uncomfortable. Like,
was she putting it back in, or was it like a continuity thing?
She took him out, and then she put him back in, and then she took him out again as she was talking to Carrie. She took him out like at least 2 or 3 back and forth 2 or 3 times.
Because like I'm taking notes, and so I kept blinking, and I was like, "Where do they keep coming from? How many did she stuff in there?"
She kept taking them in and out. Too, like, never mind. You know what? I'm not gonna say that because I don't know. For me, seeing like what if they had hooked up that night? If I saw that fall out, that's gonna like throw me off a little bit. I don't want to just have your breasts. Just those are your breasts. Those are the breasts you're born with. It's fine. If he's a tits guy, then he wouldn't even ask you out because I'm pretty sure she probably wasn't wearing those cutlets when she was at work that day. You know what I'm saying? Because she's definitely not look sexual at work. So what are you doing here?
But
also, if you show up like another cup size up, I'll be like, okay, did I?
Yeah. Like I saw you like a day ago, and suddenly you're like B to C. No.
Yeah.
How possible?
Yeah. Maybe it's the dress. Maybe it's the bra. You know.
Yeah.
That's about
it. But Carrie reassures her. She's like, "Hey, you know, maybe this is like your karmic, like you're finally getting the man you deserve, kind of thing." And that kind of finally calms Miranda down because she's like, "Yeah, I've dated a bunch of like weirdos and stuff. Yeah, maybe this is the man I finally deserve." And so they go out and come back from the date. Oh, and she's rambling post date, and he like stops her with a kiss, which is like so hot. Sort of.
He was a good looking man, by the way. I can understand her being like, I can understand her being nervous about this dude because he was a good look. He definitely so far has been the best. He was like, I think in so far in this series, probably the best looking dude she's ever been with. But like, take it down a notch. You're a high powered lawyer. He's a cop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know,
right? Like.
Take it easy.
I confused it. This is not any kind of spoiler. There's another episode where she isn't confident about like her position in life, and then and like on the first date, and then like the second date, she's going on and on about like how much she like loves her friends and her career and like how great things are, and then the guy tells her she's like really self-centered and overconfident. It's like I thought that was this episode, but no, it's not, because they go out for dinner again. And she's drinking pretty hardcore to begin with. And then
to be fair, she started drinking because she noticed that literally every woman was staring at her.
Well, I just double vodka martini was a lot to order like
Oh, sure, yeah.
On the date. So
yeah,
I was like,
if you had 2 of those, you already like you literally just had 4 drinks if you had 2 of those.
Yeah.
And she had 6 of them.
6 by the end of yeah.
But also though, to be like it didn't help her nerves with the waitress who was blatantly hitting on her. I mean, literally, she was just like, "So, do you need anything?" Like, had her back turned to Miranda and everything, like staring deeply into this guy's eyes. And kudos to him, never looked at her. He was focused on Miranda, which should have, like, if she wasn't so busy looking at everybody else, you would have seen that none of that shit had an effect on him. He wasn't looking around, seeing who was seeing him and shit like that. His eyes were focused on her. He clearly wanted to be there with her.
And he was talking to her about something they were both interested in, or in theory should have been something lawyer related or whatever.
Right.
But then she gets hammered as fuck, and they get back to her place, and he's kind of hesitant, but she's like crazy aggressive, like getting him undressed. She was like almost ripping his shirt open and like tearing his belt away. Yeah. I was like, oh my god. And he was pretty uncertain because
he wasn't into it.
Good dude who was like, I'm not, I don't know if I want to hook up with this. Well, but then she says the best, weirdest line ever, which is, "I'm no Mena Suvari, but I'm great in bed."
I mean, that's a very of the time reference because Mena Suvari was like the hottest redhead at the time. Like this was like
American Beauty era,
American Beauty / American Pie, because she was in the second
right.
One, like, she hooked up with Chris Klein. So like this was like this is like kind of the peak moment of her success as an actress, and she was like the hottest redhead in the game.
It's just funny to me that like, I feel like Miranda wouldn't necessarily know who she was.
I was very surprised when she said that. I was like, why does she know who Mena Suvari is? Like, why do you know who that is?
Yeah. It's such a strangely dated reference.
Yeah, man.
But
I know. Like,
sorry. Apologies to Mena Suvari.
No, but it is though, because it's who's saying that name now when they're trying to compare redheads, like, we're probably talking like a Bryce Dallas Howard or something.
And I always think of her more as a blonde, but you're right, in that era she had like reddish hair, redder hair. And I was like, oh yeah. It's a very
that line is very specific to the time. Like they really dated their episode with this. Like if you, in case you thought it was present, it's not. Like it's definitely 2000.
She could have gone with like Rita Hayworth or something like that, but that's old, but like that's sort of old. Timeless at the same time.
Also too, it would actually make more sense that she would know that name than the other. Well, it was funny too, man, because I understand where that cop was coming from, because I don't like sloppy drunk sex, like, no, especially if I'm more sober, like that's just not sexy at all. I mean, he still went through with it. I mean, a man is a man, but that's why he left that.
He left her the next day with a note for her local AA chapter,
which is hilarious because especially detectives are notoriously known for being alcoholics. Depending on what kind of, he works in robberies and shit like that, that kind of crime. So maybe he doesn't see the awful shit. But a lot of like homicide detectives and shit are very notoriously known for being alcoholics, which is understandable for the shit that they fucking got.
Oh, for sure.
That's some brutal ass shit. Also, to also be fair, it probably was never going to work out because notoriously also cops and lawyers don't really get along.
Right, because but I think Miranda's enough of like a corporate level lawyer where like it would
she's not a prosecutor or something
a district attorney or whatever,
right,
or like
that's fair. That's
fair. Have they ever done that in like Law and Order or whatever, where it's like they're star-crossed because there's a cop and there's a lawyer and they can't get along?
They probably have at some point. I mean, it's one of those, it's like it's right there in the water.
And also Law and Order is not exactly like the most serialized show. There's definitely like character arcs and stuff, but like it's one, that's why you can drop in literally any episode and know exactly what's happening. You don't even have to be like, oh, this is the one where they do X, Y, and Z, or these characters do this. You just go, ooh, case of the week. A body in a dumpster. I bet they're gonna interview a garbage man soon.
Exactly. Or just like a junkyard worker or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
yeah,
a bartender.
I saw him around.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that guy.
I see that guy around.
He looked a little shady, but I didn't say anything. Yeah.
But I'm just a garbage, it's, insert profession here. What do I know?
Right, yeah. Yeah, or I'm no snitch or something like that. That's how
all I do is I come and I collect the things and I take them away. That's all.
And they're always doing a mundane task while they're being questioned. Like, that's so weird. And I've always found that weird about that show is that they're continuing to work while they're being questioned by the cops. It's like,
if a cop showed up at my job, I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah, like, why don't,
I'd be like,
oh, somebody was murdered? Let me give you my undivided attention to see if I remember some shit. They're always just like, yeah, he could have been here. I don't know. I see him all before. Like, why are you still stacking beers? Like, what are you doing?
Job's a job. You can't stop with the job just because some jamook got a.
Well, to be fair, I mean, it is in New York, and New Yorkers don't give a fuck about nothing. Proven by this episode. When Carrie busts in, it's like, I was robbed. They're like, anyway, back to what we were.
They're like, and
they're like, yeah, you're a New Yorker. Welcome. Like,
hi. God. Yeah. So that's it with Miranda.
Yeah, pretty short. She actually had a story.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I just made a huge connection.
Yes.
It's kind of a spoiler-ish for the reboot.
Go for it.
But Miranda Fawn has a drinking problem in the reboot. But I don't think they laid that groundwork here to justify it in the reboot.
No, I don't think
but
so. But
funny that it came up.
I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, another spoiler for they said Big's dead, and in the reboot he dies, right?
Wait, what do you mean he's dead though?
While they're at brunch, they were discussing Natasha, and remember, because they see Natasha at brunch.
Yeah.
And she was just, and somebody said a line that like Big is dead, not like he actually died. But he's dead, like the marriage.
Oh, their marriage is dead.
Yeah, like dead. And it's like, Big is dead, and then I was like, or dead to her, right?
Yeah.
I was like, another foreshadowing. Maybe not intentional, but it is now because
poor Peloton. There's some other show recently where somebody died like on or after using a Peloton, and they're like, please stop including us in your plot lines.
That's so mean.
They're like, we love the publicity. Oh my God, please stop using us. Oh God, it's so mean.
Jesus, somebody must really be pissed off at Peloton. They're like, you know what? I can't afford this shit, so fuck them. We're gonna bring their prices down.
Let them croak. But who? All right. So who do you want to do next?
Let's go with Samantha.
Samantha's
because this story is wild, man.
So she keeps getting the wrong, calls for the wrong number. Which still happens. I a couple times somebody's gotten the number wrong, and I've gotten texts about local artwork from my hometown. And I'm like, this is not the art. I don't know who you're trying to reach, but this is not the artist. Just amazing that this is happening in the.
So wait, there's an artist name that has your name?
But who has either my number or a really similar number.
Okay.
And so someone was like, I looked at the price of this. I was like, what? I don't even know what you're talking about.
She'll be like, yeah, that'll be $2 million.
Yeah, be like, go ahead and Venmo me that shit. Do not ask any questions.
Yeah, we'll send it right over.
Send it right away. But she's getting all these wrong numbers, and she's hearing about this party. So she drags Carrie to it, and it's at a fucking dorm. Because they're also asking for the other Sam Jones.
Sam Jones.
Who turns out to be a what?
A college student,
year-old college student. We'll say 18 for safety purposes or for legal purposes.
It was so funny though, because on the way to the party, Carrie's complaining. She's like, "What the fuck have you dragged me into? What is this?" And she's like, "Oh, well, they sounded cute." And Carrie's like, "How can you tell somebody sounds cute from their voice?" Here's the thing. You can have a hot voice, but it can also be misleading. Voices can be sexy, and 9 times out of 10, if you do have a hot voice, you 9 times out of 10 are hot, but there is that one time where you have a hot voice and you're like, oh, that you don't match.
I've been watching Love is Blind. Yeah, it's
precisely.
Although there's one guy on there who's like, well, he's like, wow, you sound amazing. It's like, but let's say hypothetically, if I wanted to put you on my shoulders at a music festival, how easily could I do that? And
just ask if
it's
she's
like,
fat, bro.
just
Just say,
ask,
hey,
just
are
say,
you fat?
be like, are you fat or
just
not?
say it. Just say it. Yeah, like stop all this clever roundabout way.
Don't be so insulting. Just be like,
it really is. Yeah.
You know, but the whole purpose is love is blind, so it shouldn't matter what she weighs, right?
If you love
and vice versa for the guys too, just to equal opportunity there.
Fair enough.
But also fuck off, dude. But anyway, they get to this dorm party, and oh my god, I just wrote down, you couldn't fucking pay me to go to a dorm party in your life right now.
Bam.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah. And it was a sausage fest. It was just like nothing but dudes at the party.
There was like, I saw one girl.
Yeah, there was like maybe 2 or 3 other women there besides Carrie and Samantha.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, and here's to be fair, college guy parties usually that, like, more men.
I just told somebody this the other day, a friend of mine in college. He was a very nice guy. And we were just like friends or whatever. And he said he was having a party at like the house, he was renting with the other folks. And so I got there. I was there kind of admittedly dorkily early, and I was doing something else that night. So I was just gonna like drop in, and there were already guys there. We were out on the porch, and one of them yelled from inside. He was like, typical so-and-so party, no pussy. And we both just sat there, and he looked so ashamed, and I was like, it's cool, I gotta go do this other thing. I'll see you on Monday or whatever. And he was like, yeah, okay. He was it was very sweet that he was so embarrassed, because like we were friends. He did not want to, like, we weren't gonna be like a couple or anything like that, but he was a respectful dude, and he didn't mean for this to be yelled at in my earshot. It was very nice.
I don't know, like, maybe this is my experience with it or something, but like what I've noticed, there is such a difference between like black guy thrown house parties and white guy thrown house parties. Mm-hmm. White guy thrown house parties, always nothing but dudes. It'd be like 2 or 3 like, there's 9 times out of 10, if there's even any women there, they're usually girlfriends with one of the guys that are there. Yeah. But like black guy frat parties usually has a little bit more diversity. Like there's usually a lot of.
Should have gone to more of those.
I think you should have, because I don't think I've ever been to a party that any of like my black homies have thrown, and there's been like an abundance of dude there. You know what I'm saying? There's usually more women than anything, which I know can make women uncomfortable as well. But like,
the numbers are a little more.
The numbers are a little better, a little more balanced. I don't know what it is, but white guys love a bunch of white guys around them. It's kind of gay. Anyway, even though they're the ones like, oh, I'm not a queen, but it's like masculine dudes. But it's like, oh, you like being around a lot of guys for somebody who loves vaginas, as much as you say.
Fellas, is it gay to have friendship?
Fair enough.
We call it. So yeah, so he says like. So Samantha's like, hey, just heads up, we have like, I forget what she says, the same exchange. I know it's like a old school landline thing, and I honestly forget what it means. But anyway, she's like, hey, just I didn't. This is like one like that shit. I know. Well, this is like one historical detail I just didn't feel like Googling.
Yeah, it's fine. We're not tripping.
Not in the mood.
It's not that important. It's not that important.
It's not that important. The point is, she says something like, I keep getting your fucking calls, and he's like, well, if I had known something about it, he's still a virgin is the point of it.
Pretty much.
And he fully admits it.
I have a question for you. If you receive just like random calls about a party, would you go to the party?
Absolutely not.
Right. Like that just seems not safe.
No.
Even if you're bringing a friend with you, that just says that. Like I wouldn't. If my friend was like, "Oh, I got a random call from this person. You want to go to this party?" I'm like, "Nah, bro. Like I need some more research. How do you know this person? Where where they? I need way more research than just
what's the parking situation?
Right. Oh, that's always a big thing. I guess in New York that's not a problem because
but here, what's the parking situation?
What's the parking? Not even that. Why don't you know this person? I'm not going to somebody's party. Also, too, like. Being from the South, you just don't show up to somebody's party when you don't know them. You know what I'm saying? Like at least know a friend of a friend or something. Like have some kind of connection to why you're there. But just showing up because you got some random call, nah, that's not my style, baby.
No, I'm like,
I'm not gonna do that.
So the dorky kid shows up at her door, Samantha's doorstep later though with a flower and an apology, and then he plows a kiss onto her, and they go to town, which I thought was hilarious because she's like, slow down on some of this stuff. And they're going for a virgin. He lasted a very long time.
Here's the thing. A lot of times virgins do last a very long time. It's like they don't, it's like I don't know why. There's no medium. There's either they come really quickly or you last forever. Or if you like come really quickly the first time, then you have sex again, you last forever. It's no really in between in the first time. You go forever or you don't. But like, I don't know. At first I thought he was gonna come out and say that he wasn't a virgin, because that was he was doing some,
there was some acrobatics.
Clearly he watches a lot of porn, because he was throwing her around in different positions and shit like that.
I wrote it was like a goddamn rodeo. It was insane.
Also, when he came to the door, I wrote this down. He had a very serial killer-y vibe.
Oh, well, yeah.
His eyes were just like very intensely locked on Samantha, and like, just like he was just like clearly obsessed with her. I was like, is he about to murder her? And
well, that plays through to the end. So they hook up. Yes. And then she's like, and he's like, I think I'm in love with you. She's like, it's not love, it's just sex now. Beat it. But then next thing you know, he's leaving her a million voicemails, like showing up at her door, screaming her name.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. She probably had to get a restraining order.
Oh my god. Dude was lunching, bro. She must have had the best. I mean, I guess it's the only one he ever experienced. So to him, it was the best. Yeah.
I guess you never really do get over your first, huh?
Yo, my man was clearly unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, here's the thing. After I had sex for the first time, I did want sex again, but I wasn't obsessed with the girl that I had sex. Like he had some other issues that he needed to work out.
He sounded like a very sheltered young man.
Yeah, like this was probably. I mean, he had a southern accent, so he probably came from some small bumfuck town and wherever the south that he's from, and this was his first experience in the big city.
Yeah.
With a hot girl, hot upper class woman, like
an older woman, like a whole mom situation in his head, probably.
Yeah.
Not good.
That little Oedipus complex going on. Yeah. Yep. Poor Samantha, man. Like I mean, they never really say how it all plays out, but I'm assuming she probably had to, like you said, get a restraining order or get a new apartment or something.
Yeah.
Like, let me move down the hall or something.
Yeah.
This motherfucker don't know where I'm at. Because to be fair, just locking your door is not the safest places in some places in New York, because they got the whole.
Here, you gotta. Yeah. But you should always lock your door. Do not forget, people. It's not a cute, charming, like, oh, haha, I forgot to lock my door. It should be like, oh shit, I forgot to lock my door.
I tell my lady that all the time. She always leaves her house, especially when she goes to walk the dog. I'm like, yo, fam, you're gonna get murdered if you don't lock your fucking door.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
People can walk in way too easy. Because here's the thing too, like she lives in one of those places where you have to, use a call box to get in and shit like that. But I mean, how many times have you been like walking out and somebody was walking in and you just like assume that it was okay? And, I mean, just like, oh, here, I got hold the door for you. Here you go.
I always get a little on edge. Like I do, DoorDash or whatever, and I say, hey, leave it at the door. And like usually I have to call and I buzz them in. Yeah. And they even have like our buildings, like you only use this code to buzz them in, because then we can kind of track if you give out your personal code, it's a whole thing.
Right.
But if like it appears and no one called to be buzzed in, I'm always a little like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's a fun surprise when the food gets there, but I'm like, how'd you get in here?
Yeah.
I don't like it. But even in my like smallish town growing up, my mom especially, and my dad, the hammered home, lock your doors, lock the doors. So I've never been like, I came from a small town, it's so sad I have to lock my doors. My parents from like the jump were like, lock your fucking shit up. I know you're 5. I don't give a shit. Lock the goddamn door.
Let me tell you something. Murder happens everywhere, small town and big city.
Right?
And most of them take more place in small towns.
And then a bunch of our neighbors left shit in their cars, like wallets and stuff. Guess what got stolen? Because they didn't lock the car door either. And this is before automatic locks and all that stuff, where it like locks after so long on a lot of cars now. Yeah, all their shit got stolen. Then everybody installed really annoying floodlights. I don't know if they started locking their cars or not. Probably not. But they're like, aha, the floodlights will do it.
Well, listen, I mean,
Not really.
I'm about to try to like break into somebody's car and I see a big ass light, I'm probably gonna run away.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, because most crimes are committed because of opportunity. And if you take away opportunity, they out.
But it ruined the vibe of the neighborhood because everybody had giant fucking floodlights all the time.
Fucking military compound.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, gee, Bob, maybe you should just lock your fucking door.
A lot simpler solutions and
a little cheaper, a little easier.
Yeah. They're like turn your house into a fortress. Just lock your door, bro.
Whatever, that guy sucked. Anyway.
It's getting real. Oh, also too, I'm surprised. I mean, I guess we're still seeing the growth of Carrie because when they were at the party, I was like, is she going back to her 20-somethings?
Right.
This is her, this is her
MO.
Yeah, it's her wheelhouse, but she was very uncomfortable being there. So I'm with it.
I'm getting I don't know how people like Hinge or have found success on Hinge, the app, because I am getting so many like 20-year-olds and I'm like, what on earth? And I swipe left every time because I'm like, I'm not doing that.
It's fucking city boys, man. They're all trying to get sugar mamas. They're like,
I'm like, get the fuck out of town.
City boy.
So, unbelievable. I'm like, and people, and I swear, like you have to. It's bullshit, the app, because I feel like they make you pay extra to actually give you the good people that you would want to match with.
Yes.
Because I either get 20-year-olds or like 53-year-olds, nothing in between hardly, and all the older guys all have terrifying like dead-eyed stare photos into the camera, and I hate it.
Yeah, don't do that.
No.
Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, I would stay away from that if I were you.
Not a good scene.
I don't think you want any of that.
I don't. But anywho, so now it's down to Charlotte or Carrie. Who do you want to cover first?
I think Carrie's is the most juiciest.
We can save Carrie.
I think we should go. Man, they're both so juicy though. Like this is a really good episode for. Okay, let's go with Charlotte because I think we're finally starting to see her relationship kind of boil over. Like now the pot's kind of boiling over. Now it's getting to the point where it's just there's nothing that can be fixed because we start out the episode that like basically after a couple of attempts of trying to have sex.
They say after like 2 months into the marriage, he's done. He's like not even trying anymore.
He's not even trying anymore. Like now he just said, fuck it, it's not gonna happen. We're done. I'm not gonna try to have sex with you. I'm just gonna keep beating off in the bathroom.
And playing tennis really aggressively with all my weird sexual frustration.
I mean, listen, that's I made that note because like later in the episode he's outside hitting balls in his boxers. I'm like, he's in great shape. Clearly
he's in amazing shape. He was in better shape than the gardener.
Yes, he was.
Which we will get to in a second.
Yes. And
I was like taken aback.
You're that frustrated, but you won't fuck your wife. Like clearly you're frustrated. Why do you
look amazing?
You have an 8-pack, sir. You have an 8-pack. You are clearly frustrated. Fuck your wife. Jesus Christ, man. Stop going on runs and fucking playing tennis. Fuck your wife.
Oh.
Like at this point, I'm sorry. Like at this point, you have to ask the question as your wife: is he gay? Because he seemed to be having more fun playing tennis with his like schoolmate or his brother, excuse me, than like being in like sleeping in bed with her.
Well, I think also like it certainly wasn't a consideration at the time, but he very well may be asexual, which is like we're coming to understand much more better now.
Asexual,
as like a genuine I shouldn't say genuine, but as an orientation, because there's definitely there's just some people who just aren't into it. But what do you call it? So Charlotte walks away from the tennis match. They're talking about tradition and all this, that, and the other thing. And she's like, I got it.
Rules.
The family rules. And with his mom and her sister-in-law.
They literally had a rule book. She said if you go into
that was sarcastic.
She was dead serious. No, I think she was dead serious. I think they have a McDougal. Come on, a family like that probably has like, like family crests and all that shit, all that fucking traditional bullshit. They got some real rules or like bylaws and shit like that. Because remember, you also got to remember, before they got married, they basically it was like a business transaction. She was like had to like negotiate with the mom and like what she should get and what she like if she has a boy and how much money she'll get if they get divorced, and if she has a girl, how much, like, you know what I'm saying? So they probably got some kind of bullshit ass family rule book, real talk.
Maybe. But while she's wandering away, Charlotte spots a hot as fuck gardener. And she's totally turned on, but hey, who wouldn't be?
I mean, again, you know, when you're that horned up,
yep.
You know, also little cliche, being the rich wife and you want to fuck the gardener, like, come on, let's write that in the porno.
But it was so funny because when she's talking to the girls at the dinner or whatever, lunch about it, she's like, Carrie makes a crack about Harlequin romance novels, and I was like, yeah, but you know, that stuff's a trope for a reason. People like it. I
mean, it happens. It truly happens. I mean,
it happens. Like,
because I mean, sometimes in a lot of the situations too, which we'll get into later, like it's kind of an understood thing in some marriages in rich societies. Like, well, you know, I'm busy making money and not doing my thing, so you do what you got to do and be satisfied, and it's like understood.
And poor Charlotte is so like torn because she's like, he like is totally fulfilling the sexual side of things, but she's like, I'm married and I want to have that feeling with my husband, which is like an admirable thing for her to try to like maintain, because she's just like, it should be with my husband and I want it to be with my husband. Right. He has given her nothing. She has like a major sex dream, like / probably unconsciously masturbating. I don't know. Girl was writing like she was possessed.
Well, because that's the thing too. Because like whenever because like in the dream world, she's just getting plowed. Yeah, and literally. They made that joke. Literally getting plowed, which is a great joke by Samantha, by the way. At the brunch, she's like, "Oh, it's like, why am I attracted to you?" She's like, "Because he knows how to plow.
He can plow."
Well, apparently he did in her dream, because he was giving her the business. But I thought she was using the vibrator at first. I thought I heard like a vibration in the before the dream started, but I don't think she was.
I don't think so either. And I thought it was funny though too in the dream that she still subconsciously loves Trey because like the bagpipes were playing, and I was like, oh, she's like wants him to be Scottish because she wants Trey, but.
Also, too, it's a very Charlotte sex dream. She wasn't even naked. She still had on.
It's in a beautiful like garden glen, and she's still like it was like in the night.
It was like under the dress kind of thing. Yeah, he was like clearly she just like lifted her dress, but like there was nothing else was shown.
But but in the real world, she is like writhing around and screaming, and he like wakes her up, and he's like, "You're having a nightmare."
Her head was hitting the headboard. She was like, I was like, how ferociously are you masturbating right now that your head is literally hitting the headboard? Like, I've masturbated before. It ain't never been that good.
Yeah, I've never like knocked myself unconscious.
I ain't never gave myself a fucking concussion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, she was ferociously masturbating.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like. Trey just wakes up and he's like, "Hey, honey, you're having a bad."
He's like, "Hey, you're having a nightmare," and he's snoring. That's what the buzzing you heard was he was snoring next to her. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Just to drive home how like sexually uninterested he is in her.
Yeah, he don't want to fuck her at all, baby.
No,
not even a little bit.
So the next day, like. She's talking to the gardener. She just can't help herself, and she just goes in for a kiss. They kiss by the rose bushes, and they are spotted by her sister-in-law. Now
he was a fucking snitch by the fucking way.
What the fuck, man? No,
what the fuck?
No solidarity for marrying into the family.
Yeah, I mean, listen. To be fair, that sister seems like she's very wrapped up in the
for sure.
society of like being a Medulla, and like she's very much proud of that name. So of course she's gonna do everything she can to make sure she stays in that family. But like, damn, girl.
Yeah, don't stand near any buses with that woman because she will shove you right underneath.
Is that a bus? I think you need to go under there. Jesus, man.
Because then they're at cocktail hour and talk about the tennis and stuff again. And then the sister-in-law is like, well, I went for a ride and then a nice long walk and I saw Charlotte kissing the gardener. And then Trey's mom laughs it off and says, "You're a McDougal now."
That's what I mean. That's why I said something, because that's why I was
Yeah.
saying. I mean, I don't know how often it happens, but I feel like in some cases
It clearly happens a lot.
Yeah, like I think some dudes out there, are maybe asexual and they still get married because it's like what they're supposed to do,
right?
And they do have children, like they muster up enough.
Well, I was gonna say it's a miracle the family
children.
line is still going, because if it's like tradition that the dudes in the family can apparently barely get it up. Right. It's a miracle there's any kids, although they may all be the gardener's children. So somebody should do, oh man, if Trey's brother ever has kids or whatever, and they do a 23andMe, I think everybody's gonna be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah.
What do you mean I'm half?
Well, I don't know, because I think Trey's brother's wife is getting some kind of sex, because she seems a little bit too loyal to be like, she's putting, because I feel like if she had the same situation, she wouldn't have been, so quick to snitch on her. She just would have been like, hey, look, I saw what you did. I get it. Just be more discreet, or something like that, But she didn't fuck him. She only kissed the gardener. But in this case, like, yes, cheating is cheating, but like, fam.
Talk about being driven to it. I don't normally like subscribe to that as a thing. I tend to think that's bullshit, but this is sort of a weird exception. It's also fictional, so there's that.
But she's tried, I mean, literally she's tried everything. Like, she went to couple counseling. She's tried putting her face on the fucking pictures of the goddamn porno mag that he likes. Like, she tried dressing in sexy lingerie. They tried going on trips and trying to start a romance. Like,
short of like literally violating a boundary, she's done it all, you know. Yeah. And even then, I don't know if he would.
And she not only she tried everything, because like, a lot of times, people will just try to drop subtle hints. She straight up talked to him about it. Like, look, I want to get fucked. Why aren't you fucking me?
Yeah, and she did everything she really could. And so then this scene is ultimately kind of sad, because she finds him on the tennis court at night, and he's like, I know I don't meet your needs, but I'm content. I'll just look the other way. It's really common. So I was taking all those notes, and I just wrote, wow, Trey is shredded. Holy shit.
He was though.
Midway through my like serious notes about like their relationship, I just was like, oh, holy shit, I had no idea. Like, I knew he was in good shape and everything. Yeah. But like, they even like oiled him up for this scene. It was crazy. Like, just was sort of unexpectedly fucking
Which I'm sure makes her even more frustrated, because he's clearly sexy, but like won't fuck her. Like, that has to be so goddamn hard for her.
That's invalidating, because she's like, I don't understand.
Rich guy, he's handsome, he's charming, and he's like got a great body. No, that's no desire to give her anything.
None at all. So he says they can have separate lives and still be married, and it's just like an understanding that's not uncommon in like that kind of social circle. But she's like, I don't want that. She's like, I want to do these things that you aren't doing. I want to do them with my husband. It's why I got married. And so then she looks at all the perfect things in their life and realizes the connection is just not there. And she says when they get to the city, they should separate for a while. And he gives out the saddest alrighty I've ever heard in my life.
I know, he still said alrighty.
Said alrighty, and I was like, oh, that's so sad.
It was,
It was such a heart-crushing alrighty.
Because, clearly he's not an asshole.
Yeah.
Clearly he understands that that there's a problem there that he can't fix, and that he he can't think of any other solution. So he's trying to give her an olive branch. He's like, look, if you need to get some dick, just don't let me see it.
Yeah.
Like, just don't let me find out about it. Don't do it. Like,
because what's interesting
within the boundaries
is he clearly doesn't have, like we're saying, any desire the other way. He's not like, oh, I'm cheating too, or not even like an open, I guess it would be an open marriage if they both agree to it, but he's not seeking anything in that open marriage. He seems to genuinely have no interest
in sex. Yeah. Other than to relieve tension. That's the only masturbation.
Yeah, but I think he said
it's not sexual. He said it's like basically academic. It's like, hey,
and I was gonna say, I'm not super familiar with like all of how asexuality works, but I think that's kind of the thing, is there's still like certain physical needs people often have, but they don't necessarily, I think, seek it in another person that way. But I by all means, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments.
I mean, that's I think asexuality is still a spectrum of sexuality that people are still learning about.
Yeah, it's largely unexplored. And some of the things I've seen is it's because if we're human, you still can desire companionship.
Yes.
It's just like
absolutely. Yeah.
The physical part of it is just
I know a couple people that are asexual and they still they're still in relationships and they still want to have like they still want to have that companionship and have a partner and things of that nature. However, that they don't want to have they have no desire to have sex. And from what I've spoken with these people about this, some of them there are some who still don't allow them their partner to step outside, which I think is absolutely absurd. Like, if you don't want to fuck, you should let them either let them go or let them have sex. But and then there are some people I've talked to that has said like, we don't have sex. He does what he wants to, or she does what she wants to, and I'm happy as long as they come home to me and I still have this person. So that's wild.
So the show is weirdly progressive that way, except it didn't know it was being maybe progressive and portraying Trey's struggles, for lack of a better term.
Well, because it's hard because this is, again, this is 2000, so nobody was really talking about things like this, and sex wasn't discussed in heavy detail as in the time like it is now. So it was just like weird. I mean, I'm sure people watching this episode just been like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
Yeah, what is his problem?
What is his problem?
He's messed up.
Charlotte's so beautiful. She's so hot. Why wouldn't she? Yeah. So it's crazy shit, man. It's weird.
And then they leave, and she goes back to her apartment that she managed to hold on to before they moved in together. So gonna go live their separate lives. Alrighty. Sad. I'm so sad about
that. Was a very sad alrighty.
I'm crushed by that already.
That was kind of,
it's haunting me.
All right.
Alrighty indeed.
Alrighty indeed.
Get to the meat of this.
Carrie.
Carrie.
Well, I'm gonna you kick this one out.
All right. So, as previously mentioned, they were at a dinner where Charlotte was explaining her gardener sex fantasy.
Yes.
And Natasha walks in, sees Carrie, and immediately leaves.
Yes.
I don't blame her one bit.
Nope.
I would not want to be in the same fucking restaurant with the woman who pretty much ruined my life for no good reason.
Right.
And Carrie's all upset that she's like, I can't believe there's a person in New York who would hate me that much. Well, okay, tough. I mean,
to be fair to Carrie, I have to say this. She's taken on the responsibility of breaking up their marriage. Yes, she did contribute to it, but however, the only person that ruined their marriage is Big himself. He's the one that was married. He's the one that made a commitment. He's the one that said the fucking vows. So it was his responsibility to not break those vows.
Yeah.
And he decided that that's what he wanted to do. He clearly wasn't happy with Natasha. And instead of like discussing it or trying to fix it, he decided to fuck his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm falling in the trap that we all do, where it's you blame the other woman. And
of course,
you can definitely hate the other woman.
You can.
No shame in that game.
Yeah, no, because she did contribute to it. I mean,
because she contributed.
She could have easily turned him down and been like, no, bro, you're married, get the fuck out of here. And so, she definitely added little insult to injury, but it was his responsibility ultimately.
But Natasha should also be ultimately furious with Big, which I get the sense she is in a way. Just oh wait,
camera got a little crazy. Sorry, my camera got a little crazy. Sorry about that, guys.
I do think she hates Big as well. It's just we're not seeing that side of things.
Sure.
And I was gonna say, and I fell into the trap we all did with the whole Brad and Angelina Jennifer Aniston breakup. It was people were team Angelina or team Jennifer. Brad Pitt skated through that shit like he didn't cheat on his wife, which he absolutely did.
Which he did. He absolutely did.
And I don't particularly care for Angelina Jolie, and I don't necessarily like that she, in theory, went after a married man. But the fault at the end of the day for the marriage ending is Brad's. He could have turned her down at any point.
Yep. Exactly.
Much like this. So that's something to keep in mind. I think we're slightly better about this as a society, but not quite. We're still working on it.
We're still working on it. Yeah, it's because it's easier to blame the other person, than to just blame like the person, because like it's I also understand how you can do that, because like if you still love said person, you don't want to put that responsibility, admit that they did wrong, because then it makes you question like, why are you still loving this person?
How can I love this person?
How can I love this person that would hurt me this bad?
Yeah,
absolutely.
But after the lunch, Carrie is out shopping and realizes she's gotten lost, and she goes to ask for help and gets mugged instead. And he takes everything. He takes her Fendi bag, her jewelry, and her Manolo Blahniks, and he even knows what they are, which is hilarious.
I was like, I'm sorry, is she getting mugged by a gay man? Because why the fuck does he know what kind of shoes she has on? And I'm sorry, ain't no straight man I've ever known that knows shoes like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he knew like the kind and style that they were. Come on, bro. And he knew he knew how expensive they were
to take them.
I was like, I think she just got robbed by a gay man with a gun.
Or someone with incredible taste.
Maybe. I don't know. A hairdresser or something.
Yeah, but she ends up running into I called it the uncaring salon, because she says she's lived there like 15 years and never gotten mugged until today. Yeah. And then she runs to the hair salon and is like, I've been robbed. And like they all just, like you said earlier, stare at her like, and
they're like, welcome to New York, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Like it happened. It's gonna happen at least once in your life. Sorry.
But she starts to feel like this is her karma for breaking up the marriage. And that's the whole theme of the episode, is karma.
At least goes around comes around.
It goes around comes around, and like, can you bring bad karma in relationships and blah 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 blah.
She's there was a good question that she asked. She says relationship karma, does it exist? I low-key kind of think it does. I think it kind of does. I think it, in good ways and in bad ways, but I do think, like, how if you were shitty to a person beforehand, then usually the person you get with right after that kind of does it back to you. Like you end up kind of finding somebody in that way that kind of balances out, because you can't, karma is the thing. I feel like, definitely a thing in the universe. Like, you put out enough negative energy is going to come back to you. And she kind of put out the most negative, you know what I mean?
And it gets as simple as, like, you meet one asshole during the day, that person was an asshole. If you meet nothing but assholes, you're the asshole, kind of a thing.
She has been kind of getting it, like her time in LA wasn't so great. Matthew McConaughey was kind of creepy. Fucking Vince Vaughn was a
liar,
personal assistant.
Flat out liar.
And this episode, she like fell down the stairs. She couldn't get past. She gets mugged. Like,
they're leaving the college party, and she gets shoved down the stairs, and she's like, "It's just like what happened with Natasha."
No, she didn't get shoved down the stairs by drunk guys. He fell.
No, she chased you down the stairs because you were fucking her husband in the home they shared.
Yeah, that's some bad. Yeah, you brought some serious karma upon yourself doing that, my friend. Hate to tell you, but you fuck somebody in their marriage home, in their marital bed.
Yep.
Damn.
Bad mojo.
Yeah, like, it was already enough that you were having an affair, but at least when you were doing it at hotels, it wasn't as disrespectful. But when you went to his house,
the disrespect.
Because
on the way to the college party, before she falls down the stairs or gets shoved down the stairs, she learns from Samantha that the marriage is breaking up because Samantha has the inside track on everything. Because she's cool and on top of
the coolest person in the show.
Literally the coolest person in the show. So then, finally all the other stuff happens, and at the end of the episode, Carrie finds out where Natasha's having lunch, and we have one of the most infamous scenes in the show.
After a series of calls, because she tried to call her at work at first, and Natasha was like, "No, I'm not talking to this bitch." Like, she kept being in meetings.
And Carrie's like, "I'll hold," and the assistant's like, "Well, honestly, you're gonna be holding forever," because
she probably told that bitch, like, if this bitch ever calls, never put her through. Okay.
Not uncommon. I had a boss who had a list of people. He was like, "Don't ever fucking put them through to me, or I'll have your head."
Absolutely. Yeah, people got a no call list or don't answer list. People have that. I have a few numbers in my phone right now that's like, do not do not answer ever. Fuck you, Smile Direct. Yeah, I said it. What's good? Fucking keep coming for me. You didn't do your fucking job. You didn't do nothing with my teeth. Oh, that's how to bite though.
Yeah, we're not gonna get those sponsorships, are we?
I don't even want Smile Direct.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to be sponsored by a product we don't believe in.
Fuck no. But Bite, I fucks with Bite. Bite, if you want to sponsor us, I am a customer. You see these? They did not look like this fucking a year ago. Thank you, Bite.
Anyway. So anyway, yes, the most infamous scene. Carrie's wearing this newspaper dress, which is really like one of the more. It's very sexy to confront the woman whose marriage you destroyed.
Okay, but that's a very Carrie move because you know she was always intimidated by Natasha, like how hot and how tall she was, and her looking like a model and shit like that. Mm-hmm. So you know she wasn't like I would have. I think part of that. Her wearing that dress is why her apology didn't go as well. Yeah, like if she at least showed up looking a little bit frumpy, not like dressed to the nines to come and apologize. Like, come on, bro. That already says you're not sincere.
Yeah. So she sits down and gives her spiel, says she's heard about the marriage. She never meant for it to happen, but she acknowledges she can't undo what she did. Yeah. And tells her how sorry she is for what she did. And Natasha's like, cool, you done? And then she quietly, which is worse than being yelled at, is being quietly dressed down. And she's like, I'm sorry about everything too. And Carrie's like, you are? And it's like, Carrie, no.
Oh, she fell for it. She's like, oh, great. Thank you for asking. Now here's the fucking shot.
Here's the truth. I'm sorry that he moved to Paris and fell in love with me and married me. I'm sorry he cheated and I pretended to ignore it. And I'm sorry that I found you in my apartment and fell down the stairs and busted my teeth. And I have had tons of painful dental surgery for my teeth to still not look perfect like they used to. And I'm sorry that not only did you ruin my marriage, you had to come in here and ruin my lunch. And I gave that more like volume than Natasha did because she stays ice cold even the whole way through. It's so stone cold. I live for Natasha in this moment because I love that we're supposed to like dislike Natasha this whole time. What any rational person realizes, she didn't do anything. She didn't steal a big from Carrie. She just
married some guy that she thought loved her back and got screwed over. That's really all that happened. She was completely innocent in this entire thing. But that is the funny thing is because I feel like a lot of people who are fans of the show probably like, oh, Natasha's such a bitch. Why would she accept Carrie's apology? Blah, blah. It's like, no, she does not have to accept her apology. She didn't do anything. Yeah. She got fucked. She got screwed over as all the people in the show. She got she lost everything and she didn't do anything wrong, but just try to be happy with somebody.
Yeah, heaven forbid. I love that she used to be called the idiot stick figure on the show, which first of all, you're all fucking rail thin, so drop that right there. Don't even try to pretend like you're not all
right, like you're not all in
slim as fuck.
Yeah. Get out of here.
She's tall. How dare she? And I know they make fun of her in the one episode where she's like hosting a luncheon and like has a typo on like the thank you note and they're like, look at her, she's so stupid. But really, she truly did nothing to Carrie personally other than just exist. And that's pretty crazy if you think about it, that like Carrie's like, I can't believe someone in the city would hate me so much. It's like, Carrie, you've been irrationally hating this woman
for nothing, just because she was with your ex. That's
just because she got with your ex. There's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
That's like if I
besides fuck her man, apparently.
Yeah, that's one way to fix it.
That's what she could do. And she's like, oh, this bitch thinks she's better than me. I'm gonna fuck her man.
Fuck her
but she didn't do anything. She's like, and even every time that they've had an interaction, she was never like snide with her. She didn't like try to do like little undercut.
Natasha's always like
very polite and nice.
Maybe a touch distant, but would you really want to be friends with that person? Like,
sure. Right?
She's cordial.
She knows that's her husband's ex. Like, why would she be? You're not gonna be best friends with your person's ex. Like, that's just
Why would she be anything other than like cordial and polite? It's so stupid. You know?
She got because she had the man, so she's like, why do I need to be mean to you? Like, y'all were a thing, now we're a thing. That's it,
Yeah, and she's confident enough too that like it's secure enough to be like, I got him. I don't need to be a lunatic about like, stay away from my man, like bullshit. Yeah, she's like, I got him. I got married. You didn't. if he'd wanted to, he would have, kind of a thing, honestly.
And that's really what Carrie had a problem with, was the fact that he married her and not Carrie.
Yeah.
That's really it.
He did.
And
he
again,
just
she did nothing wrong.
Her. Yeah.
She did nothing wrong. So yeah, that's when I was like, man, at first, in that conversation, I was like, man, don't fucking forgive her. Like, how dare? But then she hit her with the fake out. She was like, psych. Yeah. You thought the left was coming, the right hit you. You didn't see it coming, the knockout punch.
And then I'm fascinated by Carrie's reaction, because Natasha says her piece, and then whoever she was supposed to be having lunch with shows up, and Carrie gets up and leaves the table, and the person who shows up is like a handsome guy. Mm-hmm. And Carrie seems to think this is a date. I think she has no proof. Like, this could have, Natasha works for Ralph Lauren. Like, this could have been a business
designer,
an associate. But Carrie kind of automatically assumes it's a date, because she's like, I realize my actions put in a karmic motion to put Natasha back on the singles market, as if single women in New York didn't have enough problems. And I just wrote down, that's your takeaway from all this?
Of course. Come on. Of course.
It's not of course it's about her in her head, but this is not about what?
Yeah, of course that's how she sees it. And she's like, oh, that means that somewhere out there big is alone. Like, he's just like this poor, helpless guy,
lost,
like
wandering
sitting
soul.
In a room, just shivering, missing the top. Like,
and
she's like also too, like, was that her, the way that they ended the episode with her slow walking down New York? Is she like, is that like her hero's walk? Is she about to go save Big from his loneliness?
From loneliness.
Like,
fuck out of here.
Hate it.
Yeah, it's just so fascinating that the like putting Natasha on, because like, why, it's just so self-centered that she's like, it's my fault Natasha's single again, and now she'll compete with other women. You're competing with women every day for a man's attention, and you're terrible at it. So I don't know. You're terrible about it, I should say.
Yeah.
So she's no threat to you if it's someone you really like wanted to like as a person and be married to and stuff like that. Like, I would, like, if I was like in the same like dating pool as Natasha somehow, I would be like, that chick's
Manhattan, you're good.
That chick's I'd be like, that chick's on a different level than I am, and she's different. Maybe a lot of guys are gonna go after her, but like, there are other alternatives that I can go. Like, it goes back to that whole like, it's men are a finite resource that only I can control, like,
right. Well,
psycho shit.
It's not even the point that like, yeah, of course she can like move on and find another guy. It's the fact that she thought she found the one, and you kind of took that or helped facilitate taking that away from her.
Yeah.
So that's really what she needs to take away from it, not the fact that she's single and like now she's competition again for you.
Yeah.
Like, no, motherfucker, you ruined her life. She was out of the game.
Yeah.
Until you put her back in the game. So you did this to yourself, Lo.
Yeah.
You created more competition for yourself because you are a sociopath. So
yeah.
selfish.
And somewhere out there, Big is wandering the city alone, crying in the dark.
Probably with another woman.
Probably with some other random chick that he calls baby all the time. Or kid.
Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, tell the people where they can find us.
I was gonna say, don't ever call me kid.
I will never do that.
Not you, I just mean in general.
Like, you will never hear that from me. Never. I've never used that phrase ever.
First of all, frankly, because my dad calls me kid all the time, like, or my brother, like, and I'm like, oh, I'd be so grossed out if an older man called me kid, like, if we were dating, I'd be like, please, no, my dad says that. It's so weird.
Yeah, my mom calls me
nasty. Yeah. But anywho's, you can find us, the show, on Instagram most easily. You go to Show Me What Podcast, and then you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. Our subscribers, as of this very moment that I last checked, are at 69. Nice.
Woo! Come on, baby! Come on. And shouts out to India, by the way, for watching our videos so many times.
Yes, according to analytics, there are a large handful of young men in India who are tuning in for at least 30 seconds. I think looking for something that we're not, but that's okay because you are boosting the numbers and we apprioate you regardless.
First of all, it's YouTube, so I don't know what they're expected to see. You guys are your porn searches are a little bit weak.
Our thumbnails would not, I think, suggest what is being searched for, but Respect. It's all good.
You know, maybe
I don't hate it or care because it's all helping the algorithm in the long run. But anyway, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and the occasional TikTok at Elizabeth Movies. Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me at Mack Diddy Combs on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and now Snapchat. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna ever use it, but you know, you follow me on there if you feel so inclined. If you like,
if you're feeling saucy,
you're feeling a little saucy, I might post a story on there every now and then, but you know, for the most part, probably not. Anyway,
and then as always, we have our Arlo Australia candles information in the info boxes below. Remember promo code Show Me Miss for a discount. Best smelling candles you'll smell.
And reed diffusers and bath bombs. Bath bombs coming soon. I don't know if they're officially on the market, but I know they're coming soon, so be on the lookout for that.
Love a bath bomb.
Hell yeah.
And that's the show for this week. We'll see you next time.